We're live, Mr. Wade. I yield, sir.
Good night. Good night. Good day. Good evening. Good morning. Wherever you are, or Belizean, both at home and abroad. Welcome once more to our Belizean Affairs show number 387. It's a pleasure to once again sit in our company, Mr. Leonard Brackett.
The pleasure is mine too, Mr.
But, you
Chairman.
know, and we should be joined, Leonard, by our next senior panelist, Mr. Gregory Brackett. Shortly,
Yes, sir.
the chief engineer. It's always a pleasure, my brother. And again, in the essence of time, there's a lot going on in our country. Some of us see it, and some of us don't see it. Some of us care, Leonard, and some of us don't really care about the ills. But we here on this program, we love our country, we love our
Mm-hmm.
people, and we will always speak truth to power, Leonard.
Yes, sir. That's for
So,
sure.
so
Yeah.
it's
Sorry.
it's sad to see how the actions of um our leaders, Leonard, how they behave, with no care in the world, and seems that they're accountable to no one. And before I start, I want to send a deepest condolences to my um, godson's dad. Passed away on Saturday night. Um, Errol Landero, a young man, that was close to. My condolences to the Landero family and his loved ones, and
So
condolences to my godson.
uh, I would like to join in your expression of sympathy and condolence to that family as well, Mr. Wade.
Thank you, Leonard.
May God take his soul and keep it safe until resurrection day for him to
Amen.
rise in God's glory.
Amen. And as
Amen.
always, Leonard, like we always say, tomorrow is promised to no one. Good Lord knows best. And as usual, we'll jump straight into our program, Leonard. And I'll ask you, my brother, can you please lead us in a prayer, please?
Yes, sir, definitely. I'll just go ahead and bow my head for a minute. Divine loving Father, thou who art the creator of heaven and earth, and our creator as well, thou knowest our hearts, our desires, even our most secret thoughts. We pray that thou would accept our humble expression of gratitude and thankfulness to thee for giving us life and the privilege to still be among our family members, friends, and loved ones. Please let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our mind and the contriteness of our hearts be acceptable before thy divine presence now and always. We pray that thou must bless this show tonight, that whatever we have to offer to our Belizean brothers at home and abroad and others, that it may be to some positive public benefit and well-being of our country and people. We pray that thou must continue to bless our country of Belize, its people and leadership, that thou would bless this country of the United States, its people and leadership, that thou would also bless the rest of humanity. The knowest our trials, tribulations, and travails. Please continue to abide with us, help us, give us help, courage, strength, perseverance, protection, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the fortitude with which to speak truth to power when need be. Please continue to guide us now and always for His mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank
Amen.
you. Thank you, Leonard, for such a warm prayer.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Country, country and the world needs prayer, more prayer. Thank you very much. And
You're
Leonard,
welcome, sir.
I'll do a reading, Leonard, from First Timothy, chapter 3, 1 to 10. And it reads, Leonard says there,
So,
the saying is trustworthy. If anyone aspire to the office of overseer, he desires a noble task. Therefore, an overseer must be above reproach,
amen.
the husband of one wife, sober minded, self controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not a drunkard, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome but not a lover of money. He must manage his own household well, with all dignity, keeping his children submissive. For if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how
Mm-hmm.
will he care for God's church? He must not be a recent convert, or he may become puffed up with conceit and fall into condemnation of the devil. Outsider, so that outsiders, so that he may not fall into disgrace, into a snare of the devil. Deacons likewise must be dignified, not
Amen.
double tongued, not addicted to much wine,
Mm-hmm.
not greedy for dishonest gain. They must hold the mystery of the faith with a clear conscience, and let them also be tested first. Then let them serve as deacon if they prove themselves blameless. Leonard, that's my reading from Timothy 1, chapter 3, 1 to 10.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
could I make a small
Sure,
statement in
sir. Go
regards
ahead.
to that reading?
Go
That
ahead, sir.
reading, that reading is very appropriate for what's going on in our country at this present moment in
Huh.
regards to, yes, sir, in regards to speaking to people who are entrusted with powers, such as the deacons and the other people in the church, right? To look after the well being of um, the followers and do right by them. And therefore, these people whom are given powers to govern or lord over us as a trustee of our government are supposed to have a certain quality, certain standards, certain behavior pattern, you know, before even we elect them. And unfortunately, we don't have that kind of system in our country where people's persona or character, or I mean, it's not the most important thing to some people. And they elect any kind of scoundrels and then expect to have good governance. And when they don't get the good governance, they complain. It's too late then. Your choice is supposed to be based on what you know you're going to put there. And that's why the Bible itself is telling us in those texts that you just read that we have to be wary of those kind of people. No drunkard should be elected as no leader of the country, or no, nobody that's into criminality or vexatious behavior. But I mean, you have to have a certain. Well, anyhow, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want us to point out that what you had just read is very significant and contextual to what we are experiencing personally.
So
And that
true on
was
that,
that
Leonard.
was written so many years ago, of course.
Yes. So true on that. For those who are living it, Leonard, you're so true. Leonard, we've been sitting on this platform for some years now. Previous platforms and now this platform, and now we are at our 387 along with Greg.
Yes, sir.
And we have been bringing up issues upon issues and solutions, and we have been pointing out the directions of certain leaders and certain things that they're doing, and so far 98% of the things that we had talked about and have seen that is going to happen and said it's going to happen comes to flourishing, and comes to truth, and comes to the public.
Well stated,
So
Mr. Chairman.
so true on that, Leonard. That, a lot may not want to believe that, but hey, we can't have everyone believe in, so that's the nature of the beast. So, I am so glad to be a part of this platform, and so glad to be here with you and Greg for 2026. Right? I'm so glad to and a lot of people, Leonard, who have watched our show and listened to us and support us, see some positivity,
Mm-hmm.
in what we say. And I always thank you, Leonard, and thank Greg for always speaking truth to power, and not afraid to call out anyone that we seem deem or seen, going off track or doing something that we don't like, or we see that it's not the right way to do it or the right things to say. And
It
we are
is
not
our,
afraid to call these people out every time.
Mr. Chairman, it is
Yes,
our
sir.
constitutional right, our civil rights, our basic human rights, and our God-given prerogatives to be
Yes,
able
sir.
to verbalize on these issues.
Yes, sir.
So nobody should think that we are going above our pay station, and or we are not entitled to observe, analyze, and make conclusions in regards to the
Yes,
ills of
sir.
our country.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr.
And
Chairman.
I give thanks and praise to the Almighty for
Amen.
giving us, the will, the strength, the fortitude,
Amen.
and for those who haven't heard this before, we are not getting paid to do this, right? We are just servants of our people and our country. We love our country. So enough said on that, Leonard. There's a lot going on, and our other senior panelists will,
He's right.
always show and tell.
He's in the background already, so
We have the BTL
he will come on.
saga, Leonard.
Yes,
The
sir.
BTL saga. Um, I could remember quickly before I move on that Mr. Dean Barrow, when he was the leader of the opposition and leader of government for a couple of terms or 3 terms, told Briseño one time when he was opposition that I am very, very, very sure that as if you win the next election, you will move all the accounts from BTL that is given to BTL by the government, and you will send it to Smart, your
Mm-hmm.
company.
Mm-hmm.
How did he know that? So said, so done. So when I say all the time, Leonard, and my people both at home and abroad, they are all alike, looking out for only one interest. You could figure what that interest is. Leonard, you got Fortress buyout. See,
Yes, sir.
all our utilities does not belongs to the Belizean people anymore. Does not. They leash on the people's utilities. They leash on it. They got rid of it. BL increase. Now they're gonna increase, my people. I think 3.4 cents on your kilowatt burn, right? So this is what these people are studying, right? On WASA, another increase, right? We talked about that, right, Leonard? We have talked about that.
Yes, we did, sir.
Belize is now a safe haven for deportees. Signed, sealed, and delivered
Not
with the
only our
US.
own, Mr. Chairman, not only our own deportees, but deportees from any part of the world, as a matter
Any
of
part.
fact.
And before I go to Greg. And I have always said that while we talk about what we are against and for, we are not saying that we are against any Belizean deportees deporting back to Belize. Where will you send our Belizean deportees? Where? To Mexico? To Ukraine? To Uganda? To Europe? To Salvador? No, they need to come back home. But deportees from other part of the world, there should be a proper vetting, and it should be approved by the people of this country. Not like how they did the imported terrorists. And I go to our next senior panelist, Mr. Gregory Brackett. Good evening, sir. Glad to see you. Glad to be with you again. 2026, my brother. Thank you for,
Good night. Good night, Greg.
good night. Your mic is off, Greg.
Greg?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, sir.
It is always a pleasure sitting virtually with you guys, discussing Belizean affairs,
Amen.
because there is a lot happening in Belize, and we need to put it in context so the people can see this is a recycle. It has been happening over the past years, and finally it is coming to pass. What is in the dark must come to light.
So like,
But it always
amen.
starts with the narrative, and you can always watch the track record and know the intention of the ones who is pushing the agenda. I hope tonight, Mr. Chairman, I can shed some more highlights on what is happening. I want to say good night to you, the people at home and abroad, thanking you, the ones that tune in while we're live, and thanking you, the ones also who will listen to our program after we exit the on-air show. With that said, Mr. Chairman, I go back to you, sir.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you very much for, staying steadfast. Thank you very much. Um, I said about the deportees, sign, seal, and deliver. That's an item done by the leaders of this country, People's United Party leader, government. And again, I says that will these people be treated the way the imported terrorists has been treated? Treatment they will get, and not to mention the treatment the Belizean deportees will get. Um, and I ask, of all this that is going on in this country, the mayhem, the flaws of this People's United Party government publicly, right? Plain to see in any infant, one child could see their action and their attitude. And here in this country, we have a paid opposition, paid by the taxpayers of Belize, not by Ashcroft or by Bukele or Guatemala or Mexico. No, paid by the taxpayers of Belize. Where do they stand in all this mayhem? But they are busy fighting for power. Now, I ask, what happened to the district king, Mr. Briceño? High noon, past time from 2012. Stop playing around. We'll talk about that. What happened to the poverty, the unemployment, cost of living, inflation, gas and fuel so high, crime and violence, drugs, cartel activities, corruption, nepotism at the highest level, domestic violence, not to mention many more, right? But these are things that the Belizean people live on a daily basis, seeing, experiencing, being a part of. So these are the things that we talk about. And we say what we like and what we don't like. And we call out the leaders for not doing what they're supposed to do. You have the Sarstone drama. We have the ICJ drama. We have the Budna drama. And here we have the commissioner, so-called commissioner of police, still refuse to say the right thing, that a crime has been committed. Right? What kind of a man is he? Who is he serving? Why is he behaving that way? Is that his job? To say these things when it's not true, when he knows damn well that a crime has been committed. But, I will not linger on that. Guys, these are some of the raw items that we want to touch. We watched the press conference by Jules, and I've always said in our tour program that the only media house that is really talking truth and not afraid to call them out when they do something wrong, call them by name, is Channel 7 Jules Vasquez. We
Mr.
see
Chairman?
the saga with that.
Mr.
Applaud my cousin Louis Wade to join that panel today. I applaud Mose Hyde. I'll tell you, the brother of the
Deputy Prime Minister.
Deputy Prime Minister. I hope he not get in a trouble for saying what he said, right? Although everybody has different ideas and different thinking and why they say things and why they do things, but these three individuals, Leonard, and Greg, and my people both at home and abroad, I applaud these guys to say what they said tonight. I applaud them. They don't applaud us because we are not out there, but we have been saying what they are just saying today. We have been beating this before. Back to you. You want to say something before I go to Gregory and real quickly go ahead.
I just wanted us to add to what you were saying about the media houses, them not fulfilling their obligation as independent media entities, as acting in the capacity as a defender, was an informant to the public, to provide true information and be strong in the delivery of their fourth estate requirements. And that's all I wanted us to add, for what you were saying.
Thank you.
That it's a responsibility on their part. They're not doing us a favor. Exactly. They're doing a job. And they're
and not to mention, Leonard, some of them are getting the taxpayers' dollars. Some of them. I'm not going to call name. Greg, my brother, I go to you because I know you have everything to show and tell, and for a program tonight. Go ahead,
thank
my
you,
brother.
Mr. Chairman. But again, I want to start by saying to you, the people at home and abroad, nationalization and private public has always been a part of the present government's agenda. Whenever they get into power, that is what they do. As I have said, it's not only BTL, it's the bus company also. And we see the effect of what happened. We can start with BEL also. When there is no competition, These people can raise the price, lower the price, and do as they please, and they can turn you off even though they are not supplying the elderly folks with
Emergency.
like bill receipts.
Mhm.
And even with social security, they are going digital, and the elderly people will suffer that does not know about modern technology. So it will be an extra added on cost for them to go somewhere to get assistance if they don't have a family member. But I believe, honestly, this new digitalization by Social Security is to squeeze out the elderly folks and take what they rightfully deserve.
But nothing
Because if
past these
you
crooks,
cannot help yourself,
Greg. Nothing past these crooks. Go ahead, sorry.
if you cannot help yourself, this is what is happening. It's happening with water, with the water people, BWA. And I know it for a fact. They just got a raise and they are still hustling. And I can prove it. But I am personally waiting for them to do me a turnout so I can sue them. And I want to expose them tonight. Okay? I had a past balance of $4.89 that was due.
Okay.
And then the new
How much,
bill
Greg? How
came.
much? How much?
$4.89.
Less than five
They just
dollars.
turned off a customer for 57 cents.
Crazy.
All right? But
57 cents and then
let me tell
man.
you what they are doing. People at home and abroad. My new bill was supposed to be paid on the 12th of this month. Now I have a past due of $4.89, not because of my own fault, but because where I went to pay the bill, they did not have change to give me. So I asked the lady if it was okay that I can pay the $4.89. You know what these people did? My new bill was due for the 12th of this month. They added the 489 to the new bill and sent me an email telling me I have a arrears, adding the 489 to the new bill, and if I don't pay it immediately, they will disconnect my water. Now imagine that. I didn't go in there. I wanted to go in there because you know what I really wanted to do to them? The new bill is due on the 12th. I have 5 days before I can pay that bill. I could have gone in there, paid the 489 that is past due, and dare them to disconnect me for the new bill because you have a grace period of 5 days granted to you before a disconnection can happen. So what they're doing now is mounting your little past due with your new bill and forcing you to pay the whole full balance, even outside of the 5 days grace period.
Wow.
So that is the new norm that is happening. As I said, they just actually shut off water and a client for 57 cents, which is unconstitutional again. It is an essential service for health. People use it when they go into work. They use it for a lot of stuff. Essential service should not be terminated by no corporation for a little bit of money. And I want to say this to the people at home and abroad. There are many a times that people go in there, and when they go to pay, or they pay at what you call outlets that they have, and they don't have change, and these people left $1, $2, that's out BWS. I want to say to these people, starting this month, when you go to pay your water bill and you have to lift extra money because they don't have change, hold your receipt so that if these people ever turn you off, you sue them because they cannot be gaining. Actually, what they're doing, I think it is 10, 13% they are raised. And then when they turn you off, they're getting $15 reconnection fee. So that amounts to 28%. That is how drastic they are, Mr.
Scamming.
Chairman.
Scamming.
And I go back to you, sir.
Thank you, Greg. You want to put your first, want to talk about the? Well, we could talk about the BTL saga. Leonard, you want to go ahead?
Uh, if you permit me, Mr. Chairman, I would like to add my comment to the water service issue.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And that is that the government should not be in the business of hustling the citizen of the country, especially with a 68% poverty rate, when they know a lot of people don't have jobs, can't get jobs because the jobs are just not available.
Mr.
The
Brackett,
economy is distressed.
give me 1 second, Mr.
Go
Brackett.
ahead, go ahead, sir. Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman, and what I didn't say, and people need to recognize, they're doing that because there's no competition. There is only one water service in this country. That is why competition is necessary. These people are taking up our water from our stream and river and selling it back to you and have the mind to turn it off, which is unconstitutional, as I said, and I will prove that tonight
Thank
because I
you.
just don't put nothing out there like that.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead,
Go ahead.
Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, sir. As I said, uh, the government should not be so onerous to the point where essential services are being built to people at a rate where the government is making extra money to cover other deficiencies. That's not supposed to be the plan. An essential service is something that people need to have and cannot survive or do without.
Amen. Truth
So
on
the
that.
government, within the latitude of governance, should be able to provide for those who have needs that they can't meet on their own. And that is, in other words, I'm not saying to let them get a free ride, when in fact, they ought to be able to give them a free ride. The indigents, the people who are poorest, the elderly. There are a lot of elderly people taking care of their grandchildren and other family members on the little retirement that they have, and they can't stretch it to meet all their obligations. The government is aware of that, but they don't care because they are taking 75% raise on salaries that are in the close to 100,000 and more payment. So every month they are getting $10,000, $20,000, $10,000, $15,000. Some of them at the high level. So they don't care what's happening. They don't care that people can't afford to buy one ramen. They don't care that their household with children there, whose some of the parents have died, and then left them with their grandparents, so other parents take up the slack and try to help them. There's no provisions in the society as far as our system of governance is concerned. Well, there should be, but it is not being provided because the Constitution says under the preamble paragraph D that the assets of the country should provide for the subsistence of everybody, including man, women, and children. So it's not like they don't know. They're just a bunch of hustlers. They want to be able to hustle money from any and everything so that they could have the extra money to misuse. And it's criminal what they're doing. I yield back, sir, as
Thank
far as
you.
that point is concerned.
Guys, my people both at home and abroad, the latest thing otherwise from the Buddha now, like I say, Buddha situation is the BTL acquisition, the BTL saga now that they are hotter. And guess who is involved too? The man Ashcroft, he's right there.
Again.
Right there. And you could go to the umpteen shows over the years and what we have said about, what I personally have said about that man, Lord Ashcroft. But anyway, here you have a past chairman, may he rest in peace, of BTL, Mr. Vasquez. May he rest in peace. We know the saga on him. And it wasn't his money. Okay. Now, you see the guy that they put there, he was a senator.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was a senator, he don't have nothing much to say bad about the government, No, he just sit there and because there's a reason why he's there. And you see, they politely moved him and gave him that seat.
His mother was a minister in government, Mr. Chairman. His mother was a minister in government.
He get his assignment, and his brother is one of the next biggest otherwise from smart telecommunication guy. Provide you with your internet and with your TV viewing and all that, and he's into the communication business. So you see how that smart little deal manufacturer, and you know what that man said? He says, this is not a public interest. This is that interest, that what's going on shouldn't concern the public. That's a private venture. That's private, and you know what Briseno say, he not get into private business.
Bunch of scoundrels.
Right? But watch how all that saga is playing out, Greg and Leonard, right? And watch how these sharks, these hyenas, is after that money. They're after that money, and they're trying to figure out, and all the players trying to figure out, you get the share, that you get the share, and because we're gonna sucker the Belizean people and the taxpayers again once more. Right? And who dare stop them? The UDP did it. Nobody. None of them went to jail. None of them. These suckers here are doing it. And I'm pretty sure none of them will be going to jail either, Leonard and Greg. And sadly, you'll be surprised to know who these players are. Who are these players? Are these people any people, new people? No. They are the same old vultures. Back to you, Greg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are talking about BTL. And now I want to go to the other one. And I will play the tape first. And I will show you, the people at home and abroad, what this government is doing.
The increase in prices too, things are already hard. And this is a service that everybody uses. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who don't actually have a lot of their documents because they can't afford it. Like even something as simple as like maybe they spell your name wrong and you have to pay for changing name. A lot of people go around keeping their wrong name spelling on their birth certificate because they literally can't change. They can't afford to change it.
Yeah.
So with the increase in prices, it's going to be a lot tougher for a lot of people.
And that's the thing, right? Where you're saying if you had invited the press, you would have been able to digest these new changes properly and be able to communicate that with the public. So it's like, what is the justification for increasing the price, right?
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
if you're saying now that we're going to go in electronic-based system,
It should be cheaper,
it's supposed to make things cheaper,
Yeah.
right? Because now you're using, I don't know, different technology and all of these things. So what is just the justification for an increase in price?
And 100% increase too for like the express one and stuff. Yeah, it doubles literally.
Yeah. And then
Mr. Chairman, and people at home and abroad, I want to call them out for this. The government is ludicrous and is hustling off of the people of Belize to raise the prices on birth paper and death certificate, marriage certificate, whatever you do at vital statistics. 100% is ludicrous, and I will tell you why. You go to Kalhushna Memorial Hospital and you have a loved one pass there. If they have a bill, you cannot get the death certificate. Now here you have the government. People need a birth paper for college. They needed to sign up for loans and different things. People need death certificate to do transactions. Now they are treating these papers through the vital statistics the way they are treating the gas price. That is not normal. You know why? They are actually forcing 100% out of Belizean, knowing you need these documents. The same way with the fuel price that they refuse to lower the price. So this is a push on the people. And I will tell you what, this is unconstitutional and it violates international law in the Caribbean. And I'm not just saying this to say it. And I want to make one suggestion. The Privy Council had made this clear, crystal clear in Riot versus the Queen. It held that human dignity lies at the heart of constitutional interpretation and that the state action must not degrade or devalue the individual. Forcing families to pay double just to register a birth or bury a loved one is a direct assault on human dignity. So that's what they're going after. And there are attorneys out there. There is, who knows, the Attorney General, who should be protecting the Constitution. They know this is in violation of the Constitution. This right here, an injunction can go on this, and if they go to court, they will lose because they cannot do that. And there is no cases in the Commonwealth Caribbean that says they can't do this. So people need to look up on them. I have posted, uh, uh, I had posted something on this issue, and I hope people read up on it. I go back to
Great,
you, Mr.
great. And
Chairman.
and Leonard,
Yes,
is
sir.
is is this government so hard up, so hard up for money, for revenue to meet their bills that they have to do this to the poor people? Why I say this is because they created whatever they are going through, they created it on themselves. Because all these tax breaks that they are giving these companies, these big deals, that private deals that this man say he not involved in private this and not do this and he not do that and ask me brother and I don't know that my brother that this and my brother. No, you hear this man with all kind of crap, right? And all kind of sweet deals where he give people tax breaks for 25 years. You know, you could import duty-free things to certain individuals. God damn, why are you doing this to the poor people when you are manifesting corruption by these people from other countries, other part of the world to come into Belize, reaping all the sweets from Belize when you are taxing your poor people? And you're giving these people so much bricks. So if you do the right thing and collect the taxes and the revenues from these rich cronies, rich crooks that's coming into this country, you wouldn't have to be doing this to the poor people, Mr. Briceño and past administration. You all need to be charged. You all need to be held accountable for these kinds of action towards the poor people. Just to what? To find money? And treating the poor people like that? Finding way to squeeze. Finding way to squeeze what the poor people do not have? So sad. Like I say, all these things that you guys are doing, there will be recompense at some point. And I've always said a lot of people don't like when you could be 99, 110, 200 years old, and all the crimes that you have done to the nation and the poor people, at one point in your life on this earth, you will be held accountable. Because another entity will come in. You will not be here all the time. This two-party system will be gone at some point. Another system will come, and then that system will hold you accountable and will not be afraid to do it. We see it happen around the world. Had happened already. And I want to welcome Mr. Gregory Morrison, my brother.
Good evening. Good evening. Happy New Year.
Good evening, Mr. Morrison.
Glad to be with you at year 2026, my brother. Glad to be in your company. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Introduce yourself there, sir, and you want to throw a little comment on so far what you.
Well,
I yield to you, sir. I yield to you. I'm done. I yield to you.
Okay. Good evening to our listening audience. Joining a little bit late, but glad to always be part of the involvement in trying to promote Belize and addressing issues across the diaspora. Whereas Belizeans have the same issue, it doesn't matter where we reside, and our heart stays strong in Belize. So thank you for having me this evening, and
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Quickly, you would like to? I don't know if you in touch with the BTL saga. That's an issue that we had talked about, and
yes.
we had talked about the utilities so far, but the BTL saga, would like for you to share your opinion on what you know and your input.
Thank you very much. Well, we spoke about this on Monday briefly. We had quite a bit of discussion on it, and it remains concerning that they still seem to be pushing the process with some of them without bowing to giving any greater degree of transparency and disclosure. That is what's needed. I'm not in general opposed to the sales. As a person that's involved myself in development and infrastructure and this type of stuff, I know that there's some synergy in terms of having the control and having one company providing this vital service, and it does not come without some risk, right? But we know that there's some synergy of duplication that is erased if you have a single company providing the service, as BTL was so many long years ago. I think like 23 years ago, before it was broken off and then repurchased and then had both private and public shares. So I'm not in general opposed to it being a monopoly once again, but I am concerned about the way they are rushing through this sales without providing the disclosure and also not making it, letting the people that are purchasing it, classifying it as a private business when in fact it's public funds. It's individual. It's individual money. It is our social security money, and therefore there needs to be clear disclosure. And it annoyed me immensely when Mr. Lizaraga, the chairman of BTL, was saying, "Oh, this is private, private." It tells me that they're not being up and up with the people. They're not being transparent. They're not being fair, and that either for whatever reason they're pushing through a deal without disclosure and probably sticking the people with this deal that will be an attainable to in any case, to try and sell. And so what we need is clear disclosure as to the profitability of those companies they're purchasing. I know the two cable company backed out, but still we have Smart and the other company still sort of presenting their bid, and that needs to be decided on. But what we need is full disclosure. What is the profitability of that company? I think we have a little bit more clearer understanding since Mr. Ashcroft made the disclosure of his ownership and so forth. And I'm not against purchasing it, as I said. I'm a little concerned about what we found out over the discussion with Jules, that Tracy Tega did not come up front and disclose that she had in fact met with Lord Ashcroft on his yacht, and had some discussion. She kind of, in second thought, told us what those discussion was, but it was paramount, and it was required of her to come up in her first presentation to disclose that this contact had been made and what discussion had. So that I find a little annoying. It tells me that that Ashcroft still has his claw deep in our political um, system and contact with our political leaders. And I have no problem with people, politicians meeting with Lord Ashcroft. He's one of the biggest, the Belize Bank and his alliance is one of the biggest contributors to politics. But that's why we need financial disclosure to say what monies is being contributed to political parties, and we need to somehow find a way to force these political parties to have party registration so that we can in fact sue them and hold them accountable according to our laws.
Thank you. Thank you. Leonard, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have a opposing perspective compared to our good brother and colleague here, Mr.
Well, we are entitled, Leonard, so
Greg Morrison. And
we are entitled.
I'd like to say that I do not agree that we should be buying any almost outdated companies from these people, especially the ones that we're talking about, so that they can cash out up front and leave us with their baggage for the next 4 years. We will be giving them our money that we are getting out of the present BTL.
Or Leonard, quickly, this guy Ashcroft profited heavily on the last administration on the same company. Profit tremendously. Now again, he holds the profit again. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Just for
what I'm saying
clarity
is that if these companies saw the light of day and realized that Starlink and other interested parties who are going to come in and provide services without all these infrastructures that we currently have, but provide these services in a modern method with new satellite telephones that you can access directly to satellite, and sooner or later, within the next few years, these services that they are telling us we should buy from them so that they can cash out will become obsolete, and we will make no money off of it. And who are we going to sell it back to? They will not come back and buy it from us. The bottom line, though, is that this matter is being dealt with underhandedly, without, as Mr. Morrison said, proper disclosure. Okay, and as a result, it is not fair for the government led by the Prime Minister, who is an interested party, even though he claims that his family that owns the asset, he acquired the asset that his family are now owning or controlling while he is Prime Minister. He is a director, an indirect director, because he picks up the phone and calls his subordinates, appointees to these boards, and tell them vote in favor of this deal, even though the people that he's talking to don't even know what the kind of what hell of a deal he's talking about, because they have not been told or given any presentation of the information. It's all a sordid deal, and it's all about ripping us off with the powers to be, and we are not supposed to know how it happened, but later on we are supposed to be saddled with these expenses. Now I want to go to the issue of the opposition leader, Ms. Panton, having a meeting with the with Mr. Ashcroft. Mr. Ashcroft have meeting with everybody in Belize that has to do or deal with politics. That's his agenda. That's his prerogative. That's his right. But at the end of the day, I don't hear no criticism about him having meetings with the Prime Minister, or the Prime Minister calling him, or he calling the Prime Minister, because they are in business together. These people are in constant communication, and which is why the Prime Minister is trying to help Mr. Ashcroft dump off his stuff so that they don't have to put extra money in there now to modernize it and take our money. These two gentlemen, Mr. Ashcroft and the Prime Minister, are buddies in business.
They did a good job with the port there, Leonard. Don't forget.
Almost everything that has to do with
very good deal
with Mr. Ashcroft. It's about him getting hundreds of millions of dollars or multiple tens of millions of dollars out of our Belizean coffers. Those monies could have gone to pay our bills or facilitate enhancing our services to the public, or increase our governance to a higher level status. But I want to stay with the point that I brought secondly. That is, as far as the leader of the opposition is concerned, and the UDP leader, she has a right, and they have a right to meet with any investor or potential investor. And Mr. Ashcroft, having been an old-time investor who has financed the UDP in the past, and financed the PUP in the past, and financed the PUP currently, and financed probably the UDP currently as well, it's not a strange animal. And for us to point a finger at her, because she dared not to have made that be the first item that she took up on her, meeting that she had, the conference, her conference. Had she gone ahead and brought that specific item up as the first item on the conference, nothing else in the agenda would have been dealt with, because that would have been the focus of the whole rest of the night or the day or the time for that agenda. Because there would have been questions on top of questions and accusations on top of accusations, and from one thing lead to the next, and you would not have been able to further the agenda. The bottom line is whether or not she dealt with it firstly or secondly. She dealt with it. And are we not to have any faith in believing that what she said makes any sense, or that she was saying what she knew to be, or she was levying with us as telling us what she knew her truth was? She said that she had the meeting with the man, and she told the man exactly that, she knows that he's involved in politics and political financing and things like those, but we are not there for sale. It's public now what she said. And not only that, but that man has in that boat all kind of security system, including cameras and tapes and voice and all kind of stuff, that if anything was transacted or said in there that she would have denied or said she didn't say, that man could have brought out whatever and proved to the fact that she had said what she's claiming then that she didn't say. So she, by going there, put herself in an indefensible position, knowing the kind of person that he is. But the bottom line is that the UDP, money is the milk of politics. The present government has all the cash from the treasury, including their own personal financing, as well as their own supporters' financing. and their own financiers, them who are financing them with big millions of dollars, who they cut favors and do deals for. So they have unlimited amount of funds to run on. The UDP don't have that kind of resource, especially having gone through what they have just gone through. So if they were to have gone there to try and ask the man for some money, all they would have been doing was putting themselves in a position to be subordinated or suborned, because that man does not let money out of his coffers without a return. And his return is usually 99 for one. Any 1 penny that he gives up, he gets 99 cents. Okay?
Thank you.
That's a history.
Thank you, Leonard.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
As you know, as for me, you know, this guy have his hands in all the political machine in this country. So if Britannia would meet with him, he would never come out and say, well, you know, he gave me so much for my financing and this and that. Tracy meet with him, I'm pretty sure she, you know, come out and say, well, you know, this is what she got. But anyway, back to you, Greg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to say I don't have no regard if Ms. Fantan wants to meet the King, Ashcroft, or whoever.
Yeah.
There is no campaign finance in Belize.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here to talk about the UDP.
Yeah.
I will sit here and talk about our government who is
should.
amending our constitution informally, who is breaking laws, who has just tried to pass the 13th Amendment.
Tried.
Family has
They come back again, Greg. They will be back, you know. They know they'll be back a different way, but they will be back.
Thank you. Whose family has to gain from this deal. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm for the deal or not for the deal. What I'm going to sit here and say, I believe in law. I studied law. And there is an act that says this cannot happen. And I hope the people of this country hold the government to that act. And I want to go to the tape again for clarification.
Thank you.
PUC does not have to approve it. It says that if you have any sale, that sort of thing, and you do it without prior approval, that's an offense. But that law doesn't say that PUC has to approve anything. It says that before PUC approve it, you have to see if they frustrate the objects of the act. And clearly this would frustrate the object of the act, which is to promote competition. And the penalties for these violations for licensees, and I'm telling you, the penalties for anti-competitive behavior under the Telecom Act is harsher than any act in this country. Not only you have these fines and potential jail time, after all of this, they say you must forfeit your license. If you're after you must forfeit your license to the PUC.
They want to buy out the assets of Smart and the 3 cable companies. If that proceeds, they would be violating the act by that mere action of
and their license. Yes, basically, because you admit it. You're getting rid of the competitor. You're doing this in order to affect competition. Why else would you do it? For 38 years, the government has been saying that is how we're going. A previous government cost us hundreds of millions of dollars saying we're implementing competition. And to ignore all of that and to do what we're doing it now, to me, what does it say about how our country is being managed?
Bunch of rascals.
I stick with that, Mr. Chairman, and people at home and abroad. I hope the people of Belize hold this government to the act. Why this buyout should not take place.
Who thief with money, Mr. Chairman?
So, thank you, dear Greg and Leonard and Mr. Morrison. This is my take on that. You're going to end up that the Bricenio clan will stand to profit offer the same deal. And you see those two that backs out, that's just a narrative, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because let me tell you something. If you don't know or the world don't know, I said again, that chairman there and the brother of the biggest, one of the biggest telecommunication guy, they're brothers, you know. And you think he is going to work against his brother? No. What they will do, they will look like, oh yeah, we'll see the brother pull out. So they're not conflict of interest anymore. See, he don't pull out. No, that's just a sham.
Yeah, exactly.
When Britannia Group get his hands on that lump sum, you know what he gonna do automatically? Subcontract the same person that he don't have no interest again, you know, because that's the narrative. He will be a big part of this deal. For who do not know, he will be a big part of this deal, Leonard and Greg. Believe me.
Mr.
Right?
Chairman.
But they look like, oh yeah, you know, Mr. Lizaraga, I call his name.
He will continue to be the chairman of the board.
No, his brother Leonard and Mr. Murray. You know, they say his company backed out, Next Gen. He backed out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a narrative. This thing was in the making from Britannia took office. For who do not know, right? So he when Britannia and his clan get a hold of this lump sum and this big deal, you think it's like when it's a contractor. He go and gets the big money deal and then from there he subcontract. So he will still be a part of this deal. So you listen to that guy Lizaraga and his brother Lizaraga. I'll say no more. But
Mr. Chairman,
Greg, go ahead.
I want to put it out there and show the people at home and abroad what is really happening with these private public entities. Before I do that, I want to say that everything that is private, public, or monopoly is detrimental to the people of this country. How private public works. Private company / public uses the funds from government and the people to run the corporation as private without investing any much funds from the private corporation. What happening in return? The government and people get their dividends through shares. Now I will show you how ludicrous it is. What are the backing of shares? The backing of shares are bonds. Do Belize have any bonds?
Hello.
So make it make sense to me.
But they can make the bond based on the assets that they have.
It's a word though.
And I will tell you what. I will tell you why I'm saying this. Tonight you mentioned about Fortis.
Mm-hmm.
The name has been changed to Hydro Belize by the government.
Mm-hmm.
And Hydro Belize now, right?
Right. We had this talk on Monday. Okay, we were talking about the shares and how people could go in there and they would profit and all that.
$28 a share.
I declined because I smell a rat. And I smell a rat because I had said on this show, I believe they want people to buy in to help fund this project.
Mm-hmm.
And when time for these dividends, they might get nothing back. That is my belief. And I also am saying, as I said just now, because there is no bond to back these shares, if you buy into it, when you want to sell your share, you have to physically ask around to people who want to buy it. Because there's no bond. So I'm putting it out there But I don't want you to hear it from me. I want you to hear it from a foreign newscaster what is really happening with the new hydro release dam.
Thank you.
Let's go to the tape.
For 29 Belize dollars, you can invest in one of Belize's most profitable companies and earn regular dividends. I'm Kalila from Money Media, bringing you money news for the Caribbean. So everybody and their that Belize has been asking me to review the Hydro Belize offer. So my Belizean people, this one is for you. But bear in mind, the information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as investment advice. So the Hydro Belize IPO is a very rare opportunity to invest in a highly profitable Belizean company. As you may know, Belize does not have a stock market, so opportunities like this don't come along very often. Usually, you'd have to have a lot of money and be very well connected to even hear about something like this. But at just 29 Belize dollars per share and a minimum purchase of just one share, this offer is designed for the average Belizean to be able to invest. The government of Belize is taking a page out of Jamaica's playbook and seeking to divest select public assets by offering shares to the people of Belize. First up is Hydro Belize Limited. If that goes well, they also plan to do the same with the Port of Belize at a later date. So let's get into it. Hydro Belize Limited owns the 3 hydroelectric dams on the Macau River in the Cayo district, Molejon, Chaleo, and Vaca. Together, these dams supply 51.2 megawatts of power to the national grid. This is about 27% of the country's electricity needs. Now, if the name Hydro Belize doesn't quite ring a bell, that's because it's brand new. You may be more familiar with the name BECOL, Belize Electricity Company Limited. BECOL has been around since 1991. In 2001, a Canadian company named Fortis Energy purchased it, and in 2022, they renamed BECOL to Fortis Belize. In October 2025, the government of Belize purchased 100% of the shares from Fortis and renamed it again to Hydro Belize. The purchase price was 224 million Belize dollars for 8 million shares. FYI, the Belizean dollar is pegged at 2 to 1 US, so for my non-Belizeans, just divide by 2 to get the USD equivalent. That works out to 28 Belize dollars per share. And if you add attorney's fees, transactions, etc., it comes up to about $29 a share, which is exactly the price at which the government is selling to the public, so they're not seeking to make any profit off the sale. Also, Hydro Belize's assets were listed at 222 million Belize dollars in 2024, so the sale price is just slightly higher than its total assets. Now, the government is only selling half of the 8 million shares and keeping the other half, at least for now. Prime Minister John Brackett has said that if the IPO goes well, they may consider selling more. The government had actually borrowed the money for the purchase, so all the proceeds of the sale will go to repaying a portion of this debt. And just to backtrack a little, for those of you wondering what an IPO is, the letters stand for Initial Public Offer. It's simply the first time a company's shares are sold to the public. But this is a very interesting test case because this is usually done through a stock exchange. However, like I mentioned at the beginning, Belize does not have a stock exchange, so this may present a challenge for investors who want to sell their shares at some point. There's no easy place to sell. You would have to just put out the word that you have shares to sell, and hopefully you'll find a buyer. But based on some of the information I'm about to present, I don't think finding a buyer will be that hard. The harder task will be finding shares to buy after this offer closes, because I don't think anyone will want to sell quickly unless they really need the money. Now, when I say this is a very profitable company, let's get into it. In 2024, this company made almost 52 million Belize dollars in revenue. Of that amount, over 34 million was pure profit. That same year, they paid out $18 million in dividends. At $29 a share, that would have given you a payout of $2.25 in dividends for each share you own. That's a dividend yield of almost 8%, which is very good. You're definitely not getting an 8% return by saving your money in the bank. This is how you put your money to work. But 18 million was actually on the low side for dividends from this company. They've paid out much more in previous years, and I soon tell you why. In 2023, Fortis paid out $32 million in dividends. That gave the owners a payout of $4 per share, a dividend yield of 14%. In 2022, they paid a whopping $67 million in dividends. If you were one of the owners at the time, you would have gotten $8.37 per share, a 29% yield. And think of it this way, all of that money has been leaving Belize every single year to pay the Canadian owners. With Belizean owners, those profits can stay in the country and be reinvested in the economy. Also, they wouldn't have to pay out in US dollars anymore, and that will save the country significantly on foreign exchange. For 2025, Hydro Belize is projecting a dividend payout of $42 million. The projections for the next 5 years are for payouts of about $28 million per year. That would give you $3.50 per share, a dividend yield of about 12%. Again, you're not getting that kind of return under your mattress or from the bank. And of special note, these dividends are completely tax-free. You'll pay no income tax, business tax, or withholding tax on your payment. But why have the payouts fluctuated so dramatically, and what are the risks? Thank you for asking. Hydro Belize has only one customer. All the electricity it generates is sold to Belize Electricity Limited, BEL, which has a monopoly on electricity distribution in Belize. In theory, this is a good thing. You have a guaranteed buyer for your product for the next 35 years. Their contract expires in 2060. But the bad news is that BEL has been having money problems. A lot of the other energy they buy comes from Mexico, and Mexico doesn't play to raise their rates when demand increases. So BEL is in a lot of debt, and because of this, they're often late in paying Hydro Belize. So 2024's low dividend was a result of getting paid late by BEL, while 2025's dividend is supposed to make up for that. The other bit of context here is that the government also recently acquired a large stake in BEL from Fortis. They've already made management changes, and one of the priorities is to bring BEL back into profitability. Another important factor is rates. Electricity rates are set by the Public Utilities Commission, PUC. However, the PUC has no authority over Hydro Belize's rates. Those are established in a direct contract between Hydro Belize and BEL. This contract includes an automatic 1.5% increase each year, but Prime Minister Brisenia has announced that they will be ending that provision. Now, this is good for BEL and customers, not necessarily good for Hydro Belize shareholders, depending on how you look at it. It means there will be no guaranteed growth in revenue or profits, but on the other hand, it makes payments from BEL more stable, which should lead to more predictable dividend payments. Now, speaking of growth, Hydro Belize does have some plans to grow the company. They're actually looking to venture out into solar energy. They plan to submit a proposal for a 20-megawatt solar facility and have already submitted an expression of interest. They're just waiting on the PUC now to send out their request for proposals. And that diversification is going to be key to the company's future, especially considering all the challenges due to climate change. The world is getting hotter, which means droughts are becoming more frequent. Hydro Belize can't produce electricity when the Macau River is dry, and this does represent a risk to your investment. But overall, I do think this offer is a rare opportunity for Belizeans to invest in a highly profitable Belizean asset. Once this offer closes, it's unlikely you'll get another opportunity like this, possibly for some years. If you want to invest, you have until January 20, 2026 to submit your application at hydrobelize.com. Priority is being given to applicants who are seeking to purchase less than 15% of all the shares. This is to ensure that one or a few big...
So there you go, gentlemen. It's a high risk.
Very high
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Greg. It would be nice if our government was honest enough to do that kind of analysis for the BTL and others. That's the kind of information and knowledge that we, the Belizean people, need in order for us to make a proper assessment or do our due diligence in terms of knowing how feasible these things are, what benefits or what cost analysis benefits would accrue to the people who invest. Secondly, In Belize right now, when you get shares or dividends from your shares, normally the government taxes it before you even receive your shares or your money. Okay? Every year, when they issue the dividends from the companies by law have to deduct the percentile that the government requires in terms of taxation on those earnings that they make. I'll tell you a little secret that kind of got glazed over there just now. I'm not sure that most people caught on to it. That is that the people that are going to buy these shares now are going to get what you call tax-free, as compared to what I just articulated earlier, where the government require these companies to take out your taxes and turn it over to the government. Most of the people that are expected to buy these new shares now tax-free without no money going to our treasury are going to be business people, either at home or from abroad. The bottom line is that our taxes and our tax system is not being improved. The income to the government or treasury is not gaining anything from these projects and these money, this financing that's going on. Okay, that's my peeve. I don't have a problem with the economic development in the country and or investment, whether local or foreign. I would hope that we'd have more of that. What I have a problem with is these knuckleheads, they suborn our treasury to the whims of their friends and colleagues and family members, that they don't have to end up paying no money, because the same money that they're trying to get now out of BTL is what they're going to invest in probably becoming a competitor to BTL later on with a higher level quality of services that they themselves might get into bed with Starlink or some other entities. There are many others. Okay, there are European companies just like Starlink and others, and they could then compete with us while we have bought over their old junk and competing with them with the old junk that we get from them and what we had, which is already duplicated, that we won't have any cash flow to be able to upgrade and modernize, and they will have a cash flow to upgrade, modernize, and even chase us out of business. What will happen when BTL become defunct? We'll turn around and have to sell it again to Mr. Ashcroft or somebody else. Those are the things that concern me. Are you back, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Greg.
So Brackett, while the presentation is not bad, I have an issue. If you buy into that share and the government is tapping the 1.5% that used to be collected to raise the shares to a higher rate, you know what will happen when you buy in? Your share will be in limbo. So you will not be getting back anything much.
But
and then once you buy into it,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Once you buy into it, you buy into it for a certain amount of period, maybe a couple of years. It's not
or more, because you just
the
can't buy
only
and sell
thing
right
you
away.
can do is sell it.
But
And if
guys,
it's in limbo, then what happens?
If I may, right?
Go ahead, sir.
If I may, Greg and listen, what you see, these people is a big monopoly, you know. But the bottom line is that they already raised the electricity rate, you know. So that's another money we're not talking about.
And they will come again and raise
right?
it again.
And they will come again, and they will come again.
Because they already said that the amount that they already stipulated that the amount the PUC gave them was not enough.
So my question is this a money-making venture for certain people?
Not for our treasury.
Right.
This is my concern. I want money coming up from
you
treasury.
know, exactly. Right.
You got to pay our bills.
I would like for Briseno to come to the nation and says, well, you know, the increase, this is what is we going to do with this money that we just increased electricity on the public. This is what we are going to do with that money. Right? But it's nearly 4 cents.
Mr. Chairman, you shouldn't have to take the Prime Minister to come and tell us that, as you are saying. The board members and or the people at the BTL should be able to provide that information as part of their annual report. And on a regular basis,
I'm
especially
talking about
since
BEL, not
public,
BTL.
it's a private, a
Not
BTL,
BTL. BEL.
Gentlemen, you are missing the most important part.
What's the important part, Greg?
The Brazilian administration got money to do solar panels. Now he bought over fortress. And all of a sudden you're hearing now they are going to invest in solar panels.
And all of a sudden, we only have 51% of the grid.
we are supposed to have
What?
amnesia. We
Yes,
don't remember all of that
amnesia.
grade.
So I ask,
We're
if I may, guys, when we had all these rolling blackouts and all these monies, these grants, these things to fill that void, where is it?
Money coming from the states.
Yes,
to
and
help
from
them.
the Arabs,
How much
from
was
the
it?
Arabs, you know.
250 million or 225 million, was it?
So I asked Mr. Briceño,
over and over, they keep on getting these monies and the monies.
why do you want the taxpayers now to come now and fund you again for that void when you had already gotten money for that void 4 years ago when we had that rolling blackout, right? What the hell, you think people have amnesia or something? Come on, man, let it make sense for me, Greg.
Mr. Chairman, make it make sense. Before this administration even thought about buying over fortress, they were all done on solar panels, new generator and some Pedro one up Northern Road, and everything it worked. Those would push.
And that grid was full, right? And that 40% where they wanted, they got it, right? Because they got the money for it, right? To full it.
And private individuals Greg, give me a second. And private individuals were supposed to have the opportunity to bring in one solar panel from abroad to put on their house to reduce the stress on the electrical grid, because we don't have a big enough grid established that we'll have to let me stop.
Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
So all of a sudden that changed. I know they want to buy fortress.
I think he can't get back on. Let me see if I could help him out.
What is wrong with this?
In reality, if you want to make money, you could have did the solar panel like you said, tied into the grid. Fortress will not be making money because of climate change. It is you don't know what will happen. And in the long run, they probably would have ended up selling cheaper than they got for it. Because you know why? Competition would be there.
No, I thought maybe you needed for me to bring you on back or something.
Greg,
competition would be there.
Greg, it's the same thing with the building of the roads. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Right?
You may not make it back on.
Same thing over and over again. Getting money, Greg, getting money for the same portion of road every single time. Every year they get money for the same portion of road. The Briceño already got money for that void that was missing. That's why we had all that rolling blackout, right? And he did all about and people donated grants. We remember that, right?
Mr. Chairman,
where is it?
Can you remember the Prime Minister went to Mexico and said Mexico has agreed to give us more
time to pay. Something like that.
In that same
to give us some
added grid. Yes.
In that same statement, he made that.
So you see why I said nothing. This guy said that I believe.
We have amnesia, sir.
Right?
Belizean
nothing this guy comes out of this guy.
We not got proper
swore that I believe. That's me, only me.
And take us out for money, that's all.
So sad. But anyway, Leonard, you have 4 minutes for your closing, my brother.
Okay. Mr. Morrison had disappeared, and he said that he was having a little difficulty with his so he couldn't get back on, and he was trying. So he called just not to, he might not be able to make it back before we finish, but just convey to him or appreciation for his coming and giving us what he had to offer during the time that he was available.
Yes.
Okay. I won't take the full 4 minutes, Mr. Chairman. I'll just
Go ahead, Leonard.
I want to touch maybe three quick subjects. One, the issue of the opposition leader and leader of the United Democratic Party having met with Mr. Ashcroft. Mr. Ashcroft sees that the United Democratic Party is coming back together now with some momentum and having a possible scenario where at some point in the future may become the government again. And all he's trying to do is to ingratiate himself with the opposition party or the UDP again, as he had always done in the past, so that now, or if and when the UDP then becomes another government, that he will have in his pocket capture good grace with them and be able to go and swing deals with them. I wouldn't doubt that maybe why he called the new leader in is because he knows that the party is under duress economically, and that he would be willing to offer some couple millions or so dollars to help with financing and to help the party, get on this war path. Okay, I wouldn't doubt that those are some of the things that he probably would have called them in to discuss privately. But it is left to the leader of the opposition, Ms. Panton, to fall into that trap or to fall for that trap, because the history of this man is that he have always been free-handed with his money when it comes to financing the two mass parties, hoping that whichever of them win, he is in their good grace. And that's how he can get hundreds of millions of dollars out of our country's treasury and out of the hide of we politicians then, because they suborn themselves for a couple $1 million at a time, and then turn around and give this man assets that belong to we country and belong to us, in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I would say over the last two administrations, the Barrow administration and this current one, the man has gotten over $1 billion out of our coffers that could have gone to deal with some of these services that Greg is mentioning that now they're trying to double up the prices on, that they shouldn't be doing. Okay? And the man is a good businessman because in everything that has to do in terms of money making in Belize, the man have some investment in those stuff through his bank. Okay? So the man make other billions of dollars otherwise. But as regards to the BEL thing, I had this to say that I haven't heard any technical advisors comment on, and that is that the dams that we have up there, those 3 dams, are filled with silt currently. And the previous owners sell it to us to get rid of the responsibility for dredging those dams and getting some of that silt out of the dam so that silt don't get into the machinery and affect the machinery. All those things should be part of what should have been part of the government due diligence in terms of getting a proper appraisal for what those dams and the facilities are worth
before buying.
Right. And they come telling us on both stories that we want to be ahead and they are make money. And
thank you, Leonard.
I want to touch quickly before
because we
on the BTL thing.
We only have 5 more minutes.
Mr. Ashcroft wants to sell his thing. And that is also one of the other potential reasons why he was trying to get the leader of the opposition to come and talk with him so that they could go along with the PUP so that they could swing this deal in the House of Representatives and they could agree to let Fui BTL buy over for him thing so he could get him money up front and he was investing on something else. And then the man is a shyster.
Strategist. Thank you, Leonard. Well said, Leonard. Greg, I'll give out of this 5, I'll give you 3.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I want to say to the people at home and abroad that the new norm is private public.
Private public.
Remember what I am saying.
Private take the business and the public get the shaft.
Private public. Remember, Whenever the blue gets in power, private public, meaning nationalization and privatize. And as I said before, let's start from the beginning of the tape, because here in Belizean affairs, we
Show and
show
tell.
Show and tell.
We're seeking to renew the entire bus fleet that runs on our national highways. About 150 new buses that we're working to procure under the new company, the new public-private partnership that you know.
I want to stop it right there,
Shut
people at
up.
home and abroad.
The man
What is wrong?
The man
Thank
named
you.
Power Play, Mr. Chairman, the man named Power Play, the poor bus drivers them.
Yes, I
Take
thank
what
you.
they take what they thing what they do, and then they turn it into public, and then turn it into private. Ultimately, that's the end objective. Okay, and the private gonna be
Greg,
themselves.
thank you. Greg, thank you
Thieves.
for that last and concrete reminder for the Belizean people. Public, private. And I say it one more time. Public, private. And who is the public? And who is the private?
They.
On that note, you know, Greg, it's always a pleasure, my brother.
Nice program, Mr. Chairman.
Right.
Nice program. Great. Thanks again.
Leonard, it's always a pleasure, my brother, to
I'll
sit
say
in
this
your
is not just
company.
a nice program. It's a wonderful program.
Yes,
for tonight.
thank you. And again, we give thanks to Mr. Morrison. He couldn't get back on. You know, we lost him, and give him, you know, thanks, you know, for, and he's always appreciated, Leonard, you know,
yes, sir, always.
and he knows that. And Greg, you know, thanks for the background activities you do to produce.
A lot of people don't understand the effort and that goes into the product that they're seeing, you know.
And again, I say this: all this energy that we three put in, we do not get nothing from the public purse. Nothing, zip, not 1% or 1 cent.
We don't get no money, but I feel good that I get the satisfaction if you know we bust their ass.
Exactly. Exactly. That is my pleasure. And again, you know, thanks for 2026. Thanks again for what we contributed. We three of us contributed for the other years. And thanks for us being here for 2026. And we will be here as long as the Almighty give us that fortitude and that will, and give us that energy and strength to do what we do. And again, I always says, Greg, and then we do it not for Brisenio or not for Tracy or not for this one or that one. No, we do it for the love of our people and our country. Okay, who want to believe that, believe that. Who doesn't, that's your prerogative. You have a right to. And on that note, thanks to those who support us, Leonard.
Yes, sir.
And Greg, thanks to those. We give thanks and praise to them who support us by sharing our program. Right? And may the good Lord give them all their wishes that they didn't have, they didn't get for 2025. May they get all their wishes for 2026. On that note, thank you guys for this wonderful program. Thank you, Greg. Take it away.
I want to leave the people with this, Mr. Chairman.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in a state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Government should be protecting us from the foul results of corruption instead of being the proponents and participants in corruption. When corruption is systemic, when it's a culture and a way of life, when corruption thrives, it destroys the health of the community and nation. Now let me tell you something. Defeating corruption is a very difficult thing. The love of money is the root of all evil, the Bible says. People who love money will do almost anything to get it. Those who choose to stand up against corruption, you need to know that we're going to be involved in a war. We will be threatened, vilified,